Welcome to TheBotCo. Rajan here. It's October. That means one thing. Pumpkin spice lattes. No, it actually means Halloween. Scary movies, scary times, jack-o'-lanterns. This video is going to be all about 10 movies you can watch to prepare yourself for Halloween. To scare you, to creep you out, to get you on edge. Now there's going to be no spoilers, not really reviews. Maybe one or two you have seen. Maybe one or two you haven't seen. Nothing's going to blow your mind, but I think you should watch these movies to prepare yourself for Halloween. First movie on the list is a 2008 French movie called Martyrs. It's a story of two girls tell of revenge on torment and abuse that just takes them to the craziest places. That's all I really want to say about it plot-wise. The reason I like this movie, it definitely gets under your skin. It basically is told in 3 acts, and to say any more will really ruin this movie. You just need to go in this with an open mind and just prepare yourself, because you're going to see some messed up things. It is a tough movie to watch, I will warn you on that, but it is a great movie. It's got creep factor. It's got the scares. It's well shot, it's well made. There's a lot of atmosphere that's going to be built up. So you need to get yourself out there and watch Martyrs. Watch it. Watch it. Henry, the Portrait of a Serial Killer. There's a little bit different on this list, and it hits a little more to home because it is based on an actual serial killer. The first thing you'll notice is, if you're a Walking Dead fan, you'll notice Merle is in this as the lead character, Henry, which is Michael Rooker. This movie is based on actual events. It's not, I'm sure it's heightened in a sense, but it's about an actual serial killer and his partner going on, basically, I wouldn't say a rampage because that seems a little dire to say. It's just a killing spree. And there are some very upsetting moments in this movie. It's portrayed very realistically. It's not too outrageous, outlandish, so it hits a little deeper. These guys are so crazy that they would videotape their own crimes, their own killings.
If you shoot somebody in the head with a .45 every time you kill somebody, it becomes like your fingerprint, see? But if you strangle one and stab another, and when you cut up, when you don't, then the police don't know what to do.
And there's a scene where they're sitting there watching it, and like it pulls out, and it's really well done, where it shows the scene happening, but it pulls out and you realize they're actually watching it on the TV. And it just kind of hits you in the gut of just like, ooh. It makes you realize what's really out there. All these other movies are demons and devils and serial killers, not even serial killers, slashers who can't be stopped, they're shot, but these are real people doing real things that have actually happened.
Don't do that, Otis. She's your sister.
Okay, I was only kidding around, Henry.
Tell her you're sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Now tell her you won't do it again.
I won't. I swear, Becky, I swear I won't.
Ow!
It gets a little somber, but it's definitely worth the watch, at least once. And I believe it's on Netflix. It's always on Netflix. If not, download it. It's worth it. It's got Michael Rooker, stellar performance by him. It'll get you creeped out. The next movie on the list is written by a man. A really fucked up man. A man who might have issues, but he has made some goddamn wonderful movies that will freak the shit out of you. That man is Clive Barker. The next movie, or I should say movies, because it's going to be a 2-for-1, because Hellraiser 1 and Hellraiser 2 are two fucking outstanding horror movies that will just push the boundary. At least in the 80s, they pushed the boundaries of what is really acceptable. You want to see a chick make out with a man with no skin? Watch Hellraiser. You want to see a man make out with a chick with no skin? It has kind of a sexy feeling to it, bondage to the darkness and the torture of the Cenobites that they create and how much it's a pleasure zone for them. And there's a lot of fucked up stuff in this movie that is just mind-boggling. Just watch the first two, though. By all means, do not go past the third one or the second one. You will not enjoy it. It has the iconic character Pinhead. Watching the first one, no, he is not the main antagonist. He is in it. This is the movie that blew him up, and rightfully so. He's got great character design with all the pins in his head and the lines he says in these movies.
We'll tear your soul apart.
God damn, they're just intense. The main character of the story is a family moving into a house whose uncle is a really bad man. And from that, it just spirals into this depraved, messed up situation. And basically, the second will continue with the daughter. And there's just so much macabre. And the designs of these characters, the Cenobites, are just fantastic.
We can't.
They're really a draw to this movie. And just the chains, it's a wonderful movie. It's fucked up. It's got the wonderful 80s special effects where they draw in the special effects onto the celluloid. It's really dated. But if you take it at face value, this movie can get under your skin. Literally. The next movie on the list is a 1979 movie directed by Ridley Scott called Alien. This is basically a classic movie. This movie is full of scares, suspense, and so many surprises. It's constantly got you on the edge of your seat. A lot of that has to do with the actual design of this movie, and all credit goes to H.R. Geiger, and the split difference between the spaceships of being super modern for 70s, which is white and blinking lights. But that aesthetic compared to the very mechanical sexual side of the aliens. This movie is fantastic. It's got jump scares that actually matter. It's got one of the greatest dinner scenes that you will ever see in a movie.
I don't want to talk about what they do. I'm eating this.
And this is a movie that just hits every box right. It's got great atmosphere. The direction is great. The acting, Sigourney Weaver just kills it in this movie. You can see Sigourney Weaver in her underwear. Not bad when it's 79 Sigourney Weaver. It's got one of the most well-designed monster creatures in the alien himself. It's very tall, slinking. It's just so seeing it come out of the wall. It's beautiful almost to see this thing, and it's so deadly. And it's something you don't want to fuck with. And this movie just hits all the check marks. If you have it, get out, see it, turn the lights off. It'll be worth your time, guaranteed. Alright, the next movie on the list is the movie, if you ask 9 out of 10 people, they will probably say is the scariest movie they have ever seen. And that's The Exorcist. And it is rightfully so. This is a creepy ass movie, especially if you're religious. I feel like that adds another level to it. The way this movie was shot and made alone, with the director firing guns off at the actors to get them genuine reactions to all the creepiness that happened on the set, kind of adds to the legend of this movie. It's kind of dated in nowadays, but it's got great lines such as,
"Your mother sucks cocks in hell, Paris."
to
You know what she did? Your canting daughter?
to
The power of Christ compels you! The power of Christ compels you!
And there's a lot of subtle imagery in this movie that really sets it off. You will see the face of the demon in the walls before she gets possessed.
Sure.
And it's that little marks that make it above the rest, and it gets you really under your skin and unsettling. If we're gonna be honest, the scariest part of this movie, the medical procedures. As an adult, they scare the shit out of me, and I hope to God I never have to go through this.
Hook up.
If you haven't watched this movie, get up, watch it. Quit being a pussy. Everyone tells you it's scary. Don't worry about the daughter fucking the cross. That's not that bad. Don't worry about it. Watch it. Once again, we're revisiting Clive Barker for another movie he wrote, and that's Candyman. This movie may be on the list for more nostalgic reasons. This is a movie that fucking scared me as a child, like fucking literally scared the hell out of me. I remember sneaking over across the street to watch it, and I was scared out of my mind to walk back across the street to my own house because I thought Candyman was gonna get me. This movie has a different feeling to it because of where it takes place. It takes place a lot in the projects.
Let me just get the door. Hang on.
Which gives it a different level of feeling of scaredness. Candyman is going around, and is he myth? Is he real? Is they kind of play it off? Is it a gang thing or whatnot? It's super violent. It's got great music. It's got some disturbing images that will sink in. Creep factor is turned to 10 in this.
I am the writing on the wall, the whisper in the classroom. Without these things, I am nothing. So now I must shed innocent blood.
You can summon him by calling his name 3 times in the dark and in the mirror.
She looked in the mirror, and I don't know why, but she said his name the last time. Candyman. She turned out the lights.
And it's got a great ending that throws you for a loop. You know it's coming. There's no way this movie can end any other way, and it still gets you. That's how good this movie is. It will still get you. I think it's a great movie. I think it's an underrated movie that doesn't get much love. It's something you quite haven't seen before, and I think you guys should definitely watch it. No horror movie list is going to be complete without having a Friday the 13th movie. And let's not talk about his mom, Jason's mom in the first one. We're talking about Jason. Hockey mask with his machete going around destroying people's lives. Because that is all he does. You go to his camp, You have sex, you die. There are 11 movies to choose from. My personal favorite is Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Which is the fourth one. He looks the best. I feel like he dies the best in this one. It's the most fun. You have Corey Feldman as a kid.
Thanks. I just customized it.
You can't go wrong with Corey Feldman. You've got Crispin Glover, who played Marty's dad in Back to the Future. He does this weird ass dance scene.
Don't think you got it made, no. You're wrong.
Oh, so yeah, to reiterate, it's not scary. Friday the 13th movies at this point, they're not scary. You're going in there, you're rooting for Jason. And I feel like this is the best movie to root for Jason, and it's entertaining, and you're gonna enjoy yourself, so you need to watch it. Evil Dead. What can't be said about this movie? And when I'm seeing Evil Dead here, they're also good. Evil Dead 1, Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, and even the remake. That I think they all encompass in this list here. They are some of the most fantastic, creative, balls to the wall horror movies you can see. The first one is very super serious. We go to a cabin, we read from the Book of the Dead, people are getting possessed, and we're getting chased. That is basically the breakdown of the first movie, the second movie, and the remake. Sam Raimi is at the top of his game in this movie. He has such creative choices and angles. Sound effects. Like there's in the first one, camera is going by these planks in the roof or the ceiling, and it makes this crazy whooshing sound. And it's just like those little touches that set this movie apart. It's got creepiness factor. It's got humor in it. It's got some great one-liners.
Once in my fridge cellar.
It's got some what I think are classic lines. Great stuff. It's super bloody. It's definitely a bloody movie. It's kind of tame by 80s standards with compared to nowadays, like the gore effect, but it's definitely got some gore, got the creative shots. It's always on edge, and it's always just pushing it. It's like, what can we do? This shouldn't be allowed in a horror movie, but they do it. It can be humor, it can be Three Stooges references. It can be so many different things. They all work. And it's just a fun ride. Overall, in the mood of Halloween, this is perfect. It's got this campiness. It's got the creep factor, the scare factor, the treat factor. It's all there. And you should watch all these. I can't say just watch this one because they're all in their right good. Now, obviously, I believe the original trilogy is better than the remake. But the remake is still... It's a great movie because it's just that plot. It's such an easy, simple plot, but the way it goes is just, it's outrageous. Great movie, great trilogy, can't go wrong with it. One of the best out there. Bruce Campbell is the reason why this movie's so good.
Groovy.
Do yourself a favor, watch Evil Dead. Suspiria. It's gonna be our first Italian movie to hit this list. Probably the only Italian movie to hit this list. And this is, I think it's underrated. I don't know where in the level this hits, but not many people know about it. I'm always asking, have you seen Suspiria? Have you seen Suspiria? And people are like, no, I haven't. What is Suspiria? I don't know what Suspiria is. You need to know what this movie is. This is basically dumbed down. It is a ballerina, American ballerina, flies to this prestigious ballerina school, and weird shit happens. And there's witches. Now, the use of color in this movie is, I think, what sets it apart from other movies. Super bright, super reds, like greens. It's super colorful for a horror movie, and it's got a great soundtrack made by Goblin, and it's some of the creepiest shit that you'll hear on film. And like most, I believe, Italian movies from the 70s, it's got great direction. Always inventive kills that'll creep you out a bit, kills that are maybe even outrageous, like rooms full of barbed wire. Or just eyes popping out. It's got that definitely Italian feel to it. It's got, honestly, probably the greatest tagline for a movie ever. And you ready for this tagline?
The only thing more terrifying than the last 12 minutes of Suspiria are the first 92.
It is a classic movie. Check it out. Turn the lights off. It'll be great. The last movie on this list should be no surprise since this is a Halloween list. And that movie is Halloween. This is basically the granddaddy of the slasher movie. Now you can argue Texas Chainsaw Massacre was first or Black Christmas was first, but this was the one that for whatever reason checked all the right boxes that everyone was like, I need to do this. Most likely because of the success this movie saw. There is not much wrong with this movie, I think. I think it is a perfect movie, which might be hard to believe. Where to start? The music. The music is fucking some of the best horror music you will ever hear. It gets you in the mood. It instantly creeps you out, and you hear it, and you know, like, shit, this is not right. And that's all John Carpenter. The actual Michael Myers himself. That white, emotionless mask and his patience in these movies, or I should say in this movie, he's always there. There's such a level of suspense of you see him in the background. You see him in the foreground. You see a shadow walk by. You just never know when he's gonna get up and attack. Builds the suspension so well till the last like 15 minutes of the movie, where he is just going fucking hard in the paint towards Jamie Lee Curtis. To counteract Jamie Lee Curtis, who does a fine job as the babysitter in troubled distress, you have Donald Pleasance playing Dr. Loomis, who just brings a sense of dread. Every time he speaks is basically this evil monologue just to let you know how evil this man is. And he needs to be stopped. I've been trying to stop him. No one's listening to me. Stop him, stop him, stop him.
I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face and the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
And to this day, it's just, I think, probably one of the best horror movies out there. Now, here's the thing. Most people who haven't seen Halloween and who are going to see it now are going to be like, this is boring, this is stupid. Which is understandable. This is the movie that most movies ape. This is the starting. This is the classic. This is the beginning of it all. So it's understandable that people are going to be like, this is boring, because they've seen it all. For almost 40 years now, this movie has been in there. And to this day, it's still around. They're making another Halloween movie. He cannot be stopped.
You can't kill the boogeyman.
It's definitely my favorite horror movie. It definitely will get you in the mood. I watch it every year before Halloween. It gets you in the mood. It's got the Haddonfield, which is Midwest, which is, if you think Halloween, you're going to think Midwest. Leaves. It feels it just gets everything right. If you don't know anything about Michael Myers, the first one is the best. It doesn't get bogged down by the story that comes later. It's just a man trying to kill a woman. He will do whatever it takes to get to Jamie Lee Curtis in this movie. By all means, Halloween is a movie John Carpenter just knocked out of the park on every asset. The cinematography, the music, the monster himself, the acting, the directing. This just is firing on all cylinders and is a great movie. You need to watch it. This is the one that will most get you in the mood for Halloween, just being Halloween. It takes place on Halloween all in one night. Watch it. It's a great movie. Those are my top 10 favorite movies to watch to get in the mood for Halloween. They might not be the scariest movies. They might not be the most obscure movies. Maybe a little bit too mainstream for you guys. Or someone's out there that's like, fuck you, there's no Wes Craven movie or Nightmare on Elm Street. Those are my favorite movies. They're going to do their job. They're going to get you in the mood for Halloween. If you have suggestions, comment below. I'll read them, we'll talk, and I will watch them. Thanks for watching.